If you're watching the video from this episode, you will see that LaShawn has rolled her eyes about 11 times from this tease. I'm sure she is perturbed. She's petered and appalled. About this story. So it was reported Walmart, decided we're not going to lock up the multi-ethnic hair care and beauty products. We're not. We're not. We're just not going to lock it up anymore.
You should begin with. You know what I mean? That just that's just, come on now. We know Black people is shopping for those products, And to be honest, I've never seen it in the city of Pittsburgh, so I don't know if any of you have, but you have.
I've seen it in Baltimore.
Okay.
I've seen it in Baltimore, but they're in
a depressed area.
The areas, and people are going to steal it. But they also steal Miss Clairol. They also steal.
Man.
Yeah.
So
if anything, lock up all the products. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just Target.
Am I going to get my leave-in conditioner without calling for Becky up the front? I ain't mean to say Becky.
Yeah.
Becky was just the first word, the first Miss Carrie. I didn't mean
Becky with the good hair.
I did not mean to say Becky. Sorry.
But yeah, they shouldn't have done to begin with. They know that Walmart is one of the places where a lot of African Americans go for, those hair products. I go to Walmart and sometimes Target. Target don't do that though. They don't lock up their case. It just shows. I mean, I get it if you're in a more depressed area, but like that's just targeting to us because white
lock up the aspirins.
You have
to need to lock up that and glue.
That's what I'm saying. And
you have to have a driver's license to get allergy medicine.
Allergy medicine.
Right. Lock that up, not hair products. Like, that's not cool. It's just insinuating that all Black people steal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that because not all of us steal. If you steal, then that's your business. But don't put me in that category. You know what I mean?
Steal, Jerry.
Not all of us.
Steal.
Not all of us. Not all of us steal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When that stone was thrown, it ain't hit me. So I didn't make a noise. When that stone hit, I wasn't like, ow, because I understand it. I think with most, hey, Fred.
Hey, Fred. Isn't it a coincidence that we be talking about this and Fred pop in?
Fred. Ladies.
What happened?
Ladies.
Why you all laughing, man? See?
Hey, Fred, hey.
Change up the game on me.
No, shut up, Fred. Good to see you, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Audible. Fred. I miss you, Fred.
You know what? You called me that so much I almost thought my name was really Fred. What's up?
Next time we all get together, we all got to get together.
What's going on, Laverne?
A lot of the businesses, thanks for joining us. A lot of the businesses who are making these commitments and donations, Apple committing to $100 million, racial equity and justice causes. HBO removed Gone with the Wind. They said they're going to bring it back when they get the right disclaimer. NASCAR banned the Confederate flag, but a driver quit after that. And then Walmart stopped putting multi-ethnic hair care and beauty products in lock cases. All of this after Black Lives Matter, all of this, to like, look, we don't want no smoke. We don't want no problems. LaShawn and Jerry are like, why you got to put our stuff behind a locked case?
I get it.
Everybody's stuff in.
Let me preface it with what I say. I get why some of the things underneath the locked case. Because listen, when you set up a business, and all of us know because we're all business people, location. And some of the locations of some of the Walmarts and some depressed areas where they know that some of that's going to be stolen and that's in theft. I've worked in different pharmacies where different things, like it would be different in every pharmacy. If I was in a pharmacy, like a Stop and Shop inside of a grocery store, some things were locked up because that area, they would steal it. And it white, black, whatever, they would steal it, they would lock it up. And I would be like, why do you guys got this locked up? They were like, yeah, because this is where they make the meth. So they have to lock this particular drug up in this store.
Yeah.
I'll go to another state, they have this locked up, and they were like, these people here steal this. So when Walmart came out and it said, we're going to take the hair products out. It's like, so let's do our little part for Black Lives Matter. We're just going to unlock these from here, just to have something to say.
You're
So
right.
I get why I was locked up, because I mean, when I was in college, man, we used to buy those hair products at they
Buy what?
We used to buy the hair products that they was still at the store.
Why
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
Okay.
But when they used to go in there and steal them, they
Yeah.
would come around to the campus and be like, "Hey, I got some hair grease." And we used to go,
yeah.
"How much is it?"
You sitting at the barber shop or at the bar, somebody walking in selling some Jerry curl
weave.
They stole stuff.
Fred, what you got?
I'm saved now, though. I'm saved.
You're funny. You're not saved. You were always saved and blessed. Don't even try it, mama. It's all good. Two things. Cicerelli, I believe, is the name of the driver for NASCAR. He quit. He said that he quit not because of the fact that no one could wave the Confederate flag. He said it's because of freedom of speech. He said it's the mere fact that in America you should be able to do what you want to do, and you do have the freedom of speech. So that's his response to why he quit NASCAR. Okay. I'm not mad at that. With the Confederate flag itself, I have a problem. People need to understand what's going on with the Confederate flag. The Confederate flag stood for the secession of states. It did not stand for slavery, in a sense. First and foremost, there's 13 stars on the Confederate flag. 2 of those stars are for Missouri and Kentucky, which were the 2 original states, were 2 states that did not ever secede from the United States of America. Secession. That's what the Confederate flag stands for. There was 11 states that actually seceded from the Union, and then you had the other 2. Now, I'm going to contradict myself for a second, because one of the meanings and the purposes for the Confederate flag was the countries, the states behind it, they were fighting for their right to do what they wanted to do, those states. Now, part of what they wanted to do was slavery, own my people. Totally wrong. So every time I see a Confederate flag, I get mad, because I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Do you understand that there's hatred behind that flag? And not only hatred, but the fact is that that flag was secession from the United States of America. So if everybody's trying to be together, and if you want to fly that Confederate flag right now, you're saying that I don't want to be with everybody else. I don't want to be a part of America. Because back in the 1860s, the flag actually was created in 1861. The Confederacy actually used it from 1861 to 1865. And that was during the Civil War. And the Confederate flag, as we know it, was the third choice of the Confederacy, because they had 2 other flags before that. And the reason they used that one is because the first flag they used was confusing with the Union flag. So they had to say, oh, wait a minute, we got to do this again. So it took them 2 more times to get it right as far as they're concerned. For me as Black folks, I mean, when I was growing up and I saw the Confederate flag, I got confused. And I say this from a sports perspective, because the University of Mississippi used the Confederate flag. When I was growing up, they had Rebel. The Rebel.
Miss,
the Rebel. Yep.
Yeah, Ole Miss had the Rebel, and then behind the Rebel was the Confederate flag.
Yep.
So I thought that was cool. I mean, I didn't know any different. And even though I was younger and I studied Black history, I'm like, wow, okay, college football. I'm looking at the flag. I'm looking at the symbol. That's kind of cool. I watched a documentary on the logo for Ole Miss, and they said there's 2 different versions to the story. That the Rebel was the representation of the colonels and everybody in the Confederacy. Then there was another version that says that the Rebel was actually patterned after a Black man who was blind. I think his name was Blind Jim, who used to be at the football games back in the 30s.
He wasn't called Blind Jim.
What was he called?
There was an N in the front of his name.
No, I didn't see that in the information that I saw. But anyway, so that was kind of cool.
Just inserted.
There you go. Okay, I'm usually the rebel or the militant.
No,
but I'm gonna let you have that one right now.
She's taking over that one.
That's what's up. That's why I love her though. I mean, keep it real. But I don't think that was really, like, the Rebel wasn't patterned after him. He did look like Colonel Reb, but it really wasn't him. So, in that vein, I say to this, Black folks, all the stuff that you were saying, people were doing this, doing that, and doing certain things. That's all cool. That's cool. At least you're making an attempt. Okay, but just don't sugarcoat it. I mean, if you're going to be real, it's up to us now as a people to move forward and make sure that people are responsible for what they do from this day moving forward. You can't change history. You can't change history. You can't rewrite history. You can't put an asterisk on it. Whatever happened, happened. You have to
Right.
accept what happened and move forward. I get
Right.
so tired of us now in this society trying to change what happened. Like you're trying to put an asterisk on something. No, it happened. Accept it, move forward.
Right, because
So,
we're products of the history that happened. We're the product of that. So you
no
can't
doubt.
change what happened. It made me who I am.
And even if
Definitely.
you change it, it doesn't disappear who we are. How
But
will
it
you
will.
explain who we are if you changed it or erased it?
But it will. And this is what me being a sports
It
person,
changes how you think of me
definitely,
and what you think about me. That's what it
definitely.
changes, but it doesn't change me. History doesn't change anything. It just changes. It just enlightens your knowledge, because a lot of people didn't understand.
Right.
Right.
But don't miss this point. And I don't mean to talk over you guys. Don't miss this point. You and I are here today, okay? We got children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren that are coming behind us. If you change history today and we accept the change, the children that are coming behind us will never know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mhm.
the people who are trying to change it will go even further to try to totally erase it.
That's
So
I
now if you
just said that.
totally erase it,
That's,
did you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. If you totally erase it, the young ones coming behind us, that makes us even more distant. That breaks up our culture. That breaks up, like, it makes us just totally separate. Like, they won't even know what we went through. They won't know what our grandparents went through, our great-grandparents went through, and so forth and so on. And like Laverne said, that made us who we are. So we
Right.
got to share that moving forward. We got to make sure that we don't forget. You
Yeah,
can
'cause
forgive, but you don't have to forget. Go ahead. I'm
never
sorry.
forget, because I understand, like, people want, now that they're in this movement for this time, everybody wants to clear this slate and clean it. But did Jerry fall?
No,
Jerry,
Oh,
okay.
Lord, she can't get up.
I think that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, but people want to clean the slate from what happened, and they're like, George Floyd, we're going to clean the slate. You can't clean the slate from this. There's no cleaning slate. The slate, because that would negate the fact that Martin Luther King. That would
Yep.
negate the fact that other people have done the other. No. This right here is just another page in history. So we can't forget the people that came way before Martin Luther King. We can't forget that. That we're not wiping any slates. We're not wiping history. We just want people to be knowledge of the history and understand why we feel the way we do.
Listen,
And there's plenty of us that don't even know about this.
y'all are
Say that
saying the
again.
exact same thing. All I want is to go in Walmart and pick up my shea butter leave-in conditioner and my coconut oil.
They
And
got
I
it.
have to call Miss Carol to the gate and ask her to open up the gate.
It's scary.
And she's always on break.
And Miss Carol ain't never there, or she like real old and she walk real slow.
Yeah.
Bless her
And
heart.
forgot to keep.
Well,
Bless her
you know
heart.
what? To be real, don't be mad at that. Don't be mad at that,
That
because you
Miss
know as
Carol
well as I
walking
do.
slow.
Don't be mad at sometimes stuff's locked up, because just like
Oh.
Laverne said earlier, in certain neighborhoods, I don't care what color
No.
you could be purple, you could be.
I understand that part, because my thing is we can't steal. You can't steal. You can't expect them not to lock it up. Because if they keep stealing, they're gonna
People are
raise
gonna
the
steal.
prices in.
It is what it is. People steal. That's what they do.
But all people still. It ain't just my
That's
people
what the
still.
argument is.
All right.
Steal.
Yeah. Okay.
If
I
that's
think that's what the argument is. You
the
need
other
to
stuff like L'Oreal and the herbal essence and stuff like that. There's people like who
Who
steal that
wants
too.
that though. Do you want
Huh?
that? You want herbal essence?
No. I'm just saying, like,
They don't sell that way.
lock up all the hair
White
products
rain. What?
for one. Like,
They do lock up the tube socks and the drawers, though. Like, we ain't got no tube socks or no drawers. What?
I need to know where you're shopping. So
That's the
Wow.
one. Well, they used to come inside the barbershop with tube socks and drawers in the
I
barbershop.
said, wow.
I'm like, if somebody, I'm just waiting to see who buys that. But okay,
Well,
so I get it.
We gotta go to break. Fred, I'm glad you dropped in. I don't know if you want to stay.
Fred, go on and say
Good
what
for
you
a
gotta
little
say. Yeah, stay for a little bit. We ain't got that much longer. Go on, stay, Fred.
Okay. Anyway, it's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban Media Today.